What's up, guys? Magicalized here today, and we are back today with a Dark Magician deck profile for, I believe it is February the 8th or the 9th. It is one of the two. Right now it's Sunday, and a couple days ago it was February 7th, so it'll be posted in the description of the video, so there you go. Anyway, let's just get right into this video, guys. This is my favorite deck, and this is going to be my last deck profile for this deck until this deck gets brand new support, because no matter how many times I make a deck profile for any deck, I always change the deck soon after. So this is going to be how I play the deck for actually a while now. The way, if you play any any deck that has a normal monster, it's just gonna get bricky. All right, the Dark Magician is the second most supported deck besides the Blue Eyes deck, so it's gonna get bricky. It always is, because you play 3 normal monsters. You can always get 3 normal monsters in your hand and you're bricked. So any deck that plays normal monsters, you can always brick, so just take that into consideration. All right, so let's just get right into the video, guys. Let's go for the main deck. All right, and I'm going to be explaining why I play each card and how I play the deck as I go. So if you're looking for the deck list itself instead of me just explaining, I'll leave that down in the description for you as well. All right, so without further ado, here we go. All right, so starting off, we have 3 Dark Magician, because if you are playing a Dark Magician deck, it is the main soul of the deck. He is the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense and best picture. All right, so now for the next one, we play 3 Magician Souls, and I believe this is the second best part of the deck, because it is literally the souls of the deck. So it Foolish Burials, it special summons, it also lets you draw cards if you choose to activate that effect instead of the other. So it's really great, it's awesome, it's a great special summon. Also, it's an effect monster, Predaplant. There we go. So we get that right on the way. That is like literally, I think that's the best searcher of the deck besides Magician's Rods, be honest. Now, I was playing this card at 2. This is Apprentice Illusion Magician. I was playing it at 2, but I bumped it up to 3, because not only does it just, it special summons itself, but it adds a Dark Magician to your hand. But besides that effect, this card is literally a hand trap for all your Dark Spellcaster monsters, including Dark Dragoon, because what this card, it does not target, and none of its effects are once per turn. So if you've got Dark Dragoon on your field, which, let's just grab it, your opponent attacks it with 5,000, all right, plus it 2k, all right, damage calculation, all right, plus it another 2k, you know what, why not plus it another 2k, all right, so, and it doesn't target Dragoon, so that way you can just boom right into that. So that's why I play it at 3. All right, next we go into Magician's Rod, because it is the best normal summon of the deck, because when it's normal summoned, you can search any spell or trap listing Dark Magician in its name, or listing Dark Magician in its card text, and search it right out of your deck and add it to your hand. It's a really great card. Also, its other effect is its graveyard effect. If you were to activate a card or effect during your opponent's turn, except during the damage step, or is it battle phase, don't remember, you can tribute a monster, add this card back to your hand. That way you can play it again next turn and then just search out another card. So that's why I play 3 of it. I was playing it at 2 for a while, but I bumped it up to 3 because I realized I just need to see this card more, because I end up needing to search more in my deck. All right, now I play 2, because a lot of people play 3, but I play 2 Keeper of Dragon Magic simply because I really only need 1, but I play the second because I need to see it more often, so that's why I play 2. But really in the deck, I only need 1, but there's no way to search this card, so I play 2. All right, so what this card does is you summon it. It's also your you play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 normal summons in the deck plus 1 more, but we'll talk about that later. But we only play 6 normal summons total in the deck. So what this card does is upon summon, it just You discard a card, you search out a normal poly or a normal fusion card, add it to your hand, and then what you do is you target a fusion material in your grave by revealing a fusion monster from your extra deck. And if that fusion material is the same on the extra deck monster, you can special summon it face down. So it really goes great into such as you discard Dark Magician, you add Polymerization, then you other effect, you special summon Dark Magician, Dragon effect monster, Dark Magician, there you go. Dragoon, right there. So that's why we play 2. Now, I was playing this card at 3 because I really love Effect Veiler. It's not a Dark Spellcaster, no, but it is a really great card, and let me explain why. The reason why we play 2 instead of 3 is I just bumped it down to 2. Alright, so bear with me here. Alright, it is a Spellcaster Tuner Effect Monster. Yes, 0 attack, but it's a level 1 monster. There you go. That's what we're looking for. But it's also a great hand trap to discard, target your opponent's Predator Planet. There you go. Really great card. We have one of those for that reason. The other reason we actually use it for the tuner, but if circumstances get heavy, we can use both for its effect. But that is the reason why we only play 2. Now, I would play 3 because I love playing it at 3, but I bumped it down to 2 just to see how it works. All right? Now, you're probably wondering, why are you playing 2 of this very next card? Well, because it really gets bricky and I only really need 2. Yeah, you're like, oh, you need to play 3 Ash. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Well, if you've played this deck as much times as I've played it, I'm telling you, I've played hundreds of duels with this deck. Mainly, I've played 50 back-to-back duels with my one friend playing this deck with only 2 Ash Blossom, and 2 Ash is great. It's just great. Now, sometimes you don't get Ash. That's okay. To be honest, negating your opponent's card effects is fun, but 2 Ash is just alright. You just get to negate it. Now, you don't use Ash for its tuner effect because the way I play the deck, I don't really play any high-level synchro monsters, so I only play the 1. So it's alright. We just use Ash for the negate. And now this next card, you're going to think I'm crazy to play 2 of, but 2 Red Eyes Black Dragon. Alright, now you're probably thinking, you have 5 normal monsters so far in this deck. You are going to brick so hard, you are going to wish you had never made this deck profile. And you know what? You're probably wrong, because yes, I could have this as a starting hand, and then I would agree that you're right, but generally that's not going to happen. All right, so what we do is we do play 3 Dragoon in this deck. So I play 2 Red Eyes Black Dragon simply because I don't really like to use Magicalized Fusion for Dragoon. I like to use that for another card. So what I'll do is I'll use a Red Eyes Fusion for a Dragoon. I'll use Polymerization to pull out another Dragoon that only has 1 pop. And then I will play another Red Eyes Fusion to go for him again and do another Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So that's how I like to play it. Now, you might disagree. Most of you probably will. In fact, if I didn't know what I was doing with this deck and I just saw that, I'd probably think whoever made this deck profile is just absolutely crazy. And I'd probably agree with you. But because I play it that way, I understand how it works. That's how I play it. And plus, more Red Eyes Fusion means they could negate 1. Great. You've just sent a Dark Magician and a Red Eyes Black Dragon to your grave. They've negated that summon effect. You just got rid of 2 cards in your deck. You just thinned your deck out. So it's perfect. Alright. And for the last of the monsters, I play 1 Palladium Oracle Mahad. I think he's a staple in the deck. Also, because of Soul Servant, he's a Palladium monster. That's also another +1, including Dark Magician. That's definitely +2. And Dark Magician Girl, making Soul Servant a +3. Now, this is also fusion material for the Dark Magicians, or actually mainly just, yeah, the Dark Magicians, Quintet. That's about it. But that's what we do with Palladium if we don't use him on the field or as a draw 3 material for Soul Servant. And Dark Magician Girl is strictly for fusion material or Soul Servant. That's it. Nothing else. I mean, she might be an effect monster, but that's about it. All right. Now on to the spells, guys. So let's just go ahead and pick all this up real quick. And we are going to move over to the spells. All right. Now on to the spells. We play. I'm just going to make sure the camera's still recording because I had some recording issues earlier. All right. We hit play 3 Soul Servant. And strictly, this card is a draw card for the deck. Yes, it's a searcher. Yes, you can put Palladium on top of the deck with it. It's just amazing. It's great. It's wonderful. If you play any less than 3 Soul Servant, then you are crazy, or you are playing a really weird engine in the Dark Magician deck. And I would love to see what you're doing with it. And then I would love to disagree with you. But anyway, play 3 Soul Servant. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's the best search in the deck, and it's a draw 3 if you play it right, like I do. All right. Not to brag. But now we play 3 Allure of Darkness. Now you're probably wondering, why are you playing 3? That you got to banish 3 dark monsters. Well, it searches out the deck. It thins out the deck. You get more of your cards that way. If you have to banish 1 Dark Magician, you just have to banish 1 Dark Magician. I love the Dark Magician. I've played this deck since I was a kid. I collected so many starter deck Yu-Gi Dark Magicians, including some that were first edition. Me being the kind person that I was and not knowing anything about pricing of cards, I just gave them away. But anyway, that's a small side story. But I love the Dark Magician, guys. This is my favorite deck, all right? I'm okay with banishing some cards. If I can get the right cards I need, I'm okay with banishing some cards. All right? You may not like to banish your own cards. I completely understand that. I don't like to either. But it's a free draw 2 card for this deck because it's all dark monsters except for the few light monsters that we play. And Ash, because she's fire. But don't worry about Ash. Don't worry about her. Anyway, now a lot of Dark Magician people are playing Dark Magical Circle at 3. I understand it's a searcher, but you can only activate it 1 time per turn. If you play 3 and you have 2 Circle in your hand, that is literally a card you can discard or play next turn. I mean, literally, I think playing 2 Circle is great. If you play 1, you're crazy. You need another. So I play 2. All right. Now playing 3, I think it gets absolutely bricky. So that's why I don't play 3. I knocked it down to 2 for that reason. I think it's perfect at 2. I do not play any trap cards in this deck, by the way, guys. No trap cards. It's all monsters and all spells. All right. Now on for the fusion spells. We play 2 Red Eyes Fusion, simply because I described to you that earlier of why I play 2 Red Eyes Black Dragon, simply for that reason. Also, you get Red Eyes Fusion a lot faster if you play 2. All right. Now on to Polymerization. I generally will play Polymerization so I can fuse, fuse it with and make Dragoons. So I can make 1, 2, and 3 Dragoons with those 3 specific cards. Now, again, Polymerization isn't specifically for Dragoon. I can use Secrets of Dark Magic to play Dragoon. But, you know, that's alright. Alright, these 2 are swappable. It don't matter. Alright, so obviously Secrets of Dark Magic, we play that so I can summon out the Dark Magicians. But, you know, like again, they're swappable with Polymerization. It don't matter. Alright, next I play Magicalized Fusion. I will use this to summon any fusion monster that I need to if I need to. But I love to save this card to pull out Quintet Magician so I can just wipe my opponent's board and attack directly for 45. And hopefully win the duel that way, but probably won't. Alright, knowing my opponent, they're probably going to think of something clever to negate that card. Or just survive with a lot of life points. Alright, and for the last of fusion spells, we do play 1 Eye of Timaeus because, yes, you cannot search it, but it is a really great card. If you get it and you can play it, it's great. Sometimes it will brick you. I've had it happen. Don't worry about it. Anyway, what we use this card for is to pull out Dark Cavalry so we get that piercing battle and a negate for any card that targets, and it's not once per turn at all. Or, depending if we're playing against a dragon deck, we got Dark Paladin, which does the same thing, except it gains 500 attack instead of 100, and it's for every dragon monster. Also, for every spell card that's activated, you can discard a card, negate it, and it's not once per turn. So it's really, it's like a bundle deal. It's a package. You just play 2 for 1, pretty much. 1 for 2, right? All right. Now on to the single spells. Just gonna make sure it's still recording. Alright, it is. The single spells, we play one Call by the Grave for that negate. We play one Dark Ruler No More to straight up negate Dragoon's effect. Definitely want to do that. Or any of the other cards that could possibly stop me. Just negate their monster effects. Their monster effects cannot negate this card. It's stated in the text. It's amazing. The only downside is that you can't deal damage to your opponent for that turn. But other than that, it's a really great card to just like clear your opponent's board a little bit. Now we play Harpie's Feather Duster, you know, clear the back row a little bit. And Monster Reborn. So we can literally target Dragoon in the graveyard. We can target the Dark Magicians, Quintet, Dark Cavalry, or Dark Paladin. Even some of our other cards, such as the next Synchro monster that I will be playing. Alright, so we play that. That is all of the main deck, guys. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. Alright, gotta pick these up real quick. Alright, now on for the extra deck, we do play 3 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Alright, this is the main boss deck of the boss monster of the deck. And we do get this card out first before we get out pretty much any other card, unless we're bricked and we just happen to need to pull out the Dark Magicians. But generally, this is the first card we literally get out of the extra deck, depending if our opponent negates it or not. So that just depends on who you play against. But this is the first card we get out. We generally get out 2 properly, and we get out the 1 with only 1 pop, but that's okay. But generally, we get out 2 that have 2 pops, 1 negate each. And we get the 1 out with 1 pop and 1 negate. But, you know, they all have the negate, and so that's why we play 3. Alright, next we play 1 copy of the Dark Magician. Simply because if this card survives 2 turns, you get 2 draws out of it. Like, you play this card, and then you want to play a spell card or a trap card. Well, for our deck, we play a spell card. Alright, we get draw a card. Simple like that. End our turn, you know, their turn. Maybe they play a monster effect to destroy our card. Well, we get 2 summons out of that. If they return it, well, crap. But if they play a spell card, we get draw a card. Alright, so we get 2 draws out of that. So that's why we only play that one. Now, we would play 2, but we don't really have a way to pull out 2. We could, but why? Just why? I mean, I get the search, but we already play enough of that. We obviously have 1 Quintet Magician, simply because this card wipes your opponent's field if summoned the right way, and it's 4500 beat stick, so it just straight up attacks your opponent directly. Bam! Hopefully that ends the duel. Alright, we play obviously the package deal, Dark Cavalry and Dark Paladin. We explained their effects already, no need to go over them again. Alright, now for the 1 Synchro monster that we play in the deck. And you're probably thinking, what? Synchro? Why are you playing Synchro in the Dark Magician deck? Well, because it's a really great card, and I'll read to you its effect. This is Draco, Berserker of the Tenyi, otherwise known as, and I do quote from a locals player, Terry! Alright, that's an inside joke. If you're watching this video and you know who I am, you know where I got that from. Anyway, so what this card does is when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish it. It doesn't target, but that effect also does not negate the effect. So it does banish the monster before the effect goes through on the field. So he activates a monster effect, discards a card, I guess targets a monster, destroy it. If the monster effect says this card must be on the field, and at resolution to resolve this effect, this card could banish it before the effect goes through. It's left the field because it might have that specific effect requirement. It technically would negate it, but for most cards, he activates monster effect. I chain it with this card. I banish the monster. Their effect still goes through and it does whatever. But it's still a great card. Now the other effect is, if this attacking card destroys an effect monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can gain attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. Also, it can make a second attack on a monster during this battle phase. That would be this card. It can make 2 attacks, pretty much. Where's the end? You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. And this card has 0 defense and 3,000 attack, and it's level 8. No, it's not a spellcaster or a dragon. It's a worm, but that don't matter. It's a really great card. And that's what we play one of. Now on for the Xyz. We play, obviously, one Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. End our turn. Their opponent only has maybe 2,000 life points. End our turn. They activate. You know they're going to activate 2 effects. You know they're going to. Or maybe they just end their turn. Who knows? But, end our turn with that. And then, there you go. They're setting ducks. They're going to activate at least 2 effects. You know they're going to. But, do that. It's really great for burn damage. Alright. Now we play, and this is a really weird tech card, but I just have it in the deck just cuz. And that is Dark Anthelion Dragon. Alright? What we use it requires 2 level 7 monsters. What we use it for is, we use 2 of its effects. Or technically 3, but the very first effect, we don't worry about it. That involves pendulum summoning, and we don't do that. That's gay. Anyway, but pretty much this card is Dark Rebellion Dragon on steroids. Alright? And I'm going to read you what this card does. Alright? So, like I said, we ignore the first effect. If you can pendulum summon level 7, you can pendulum summon this face-up card in your extra deck. We ignore that. Alright? Once per turn, quick effect. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, so you have to be able to target it. Until the end of this turn, its attack becomes half its current attack. And if it does, this card gains that lost attack. That's with discarding 1 material, not 2. Alright? If this card in the monster zone is destroyed by battle or card effect, so they should just take that out and just say destroyed, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. Cool. This card has 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense already. Alright? But its pendulum effect is also really cool. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, half its original attack, until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. So, it's really great, and I think I'm going to be playing it for quite some time. Alright, next, for our last of the Xyz, we play number 11 Big Eye, simply so we can target their monster and take control, just to screw with our opponent a little bit. Right, and that's all the Xyz and Synchro plays. Now we're going to move on to the Link plays. We play 1 Relinquished Anima, and I like to call it Anima, but don't mind me. I love this card. It's really great. You can also take control of your opponent, like number 11, but it has to point. It has to be in the Link zones, alright? It has to be in the Link zones to take control of that card or that card, alright? Now, you could summon it right here and take control of their Link monster in the Link zone, but I have yet to do that, so you can do that with both, but I've yet to do that. Now, the reason I like to keep this card in the deck, and I rarely get it out, is if I side in from my side deck my Nibiru, what I do is I keep a level 1 monster in my hand, I have Nibiru, they summon like 7 times, I play Nibiru, and he gains a bunch of attack. Well, I play Nibiru on my side, and I put the token on their side, in front of the Link zone, in defense, gains a bunch of attack. Hopefully they can't do nothing. In turn, I play level 1, I go into Relinquish, I take that big attack monster, put that token in my back row, wham! But that's about it. Alright, next I play Geonator Transverser. Now what this card does is it doesn't target, but if it points to 2 separate monsters on the field, it can swap control the monster. So, or switch control, whatever the word is. But I'm going to read the card to you. So, is it still recording? Yeah, it's still recording. What this card does is, it requires 2 effect monsters. This linked card and monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card points to 2 monsters, you can switch control of those monsters. So it doesn't target. It points. You can only use this effect of this card's name once per turn. It has 1,200 attack. Link 2, and the arrows, I'll put it right here. The arrows are pointing to the top right and the bottom left. So it only works If you play it in either link zone, it only works in your opponent's middle column, or if you're looking on your side of the field, the far right column, which would be technically your opponent's far left column, I think. Yeah. So it's really great. You can swap your opponent's Dragoon, and the way this card works is if you get to swap, you get to place that card anywhere on your side of the field. It's not just the opposite link arrow. And same way with putting your monster on their side of the field. All right. Now for the last two cards. We do obviously play one Predaplant Vertanaconda because of Fusion Summoning Dragoon. So there you go. And this is actually a new card I put in. It's actually recommended, and I can't believe I haven't put it in until now, but it is Wee Witch's Apprentice. Just like Predaplant, got 2 arrows at the bottom, but it takes 2 effect monsters. But what this card does is all dark monsters on the field gain 500 attack. Also, all light monsters on the field lose 400 attack. Oh, by the way, that's and defense for both of those. My bad. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 dark monster in your grave, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of this card's name once per turn. So basically, let's say you have Apprentice Illusion on the field, or Magician's Rod, or Dark Magician, or maybe even your Magician's Soul's on the field, whatever. You play another dark monster, you go into Wee Witches, then by the end of your turn, after you've done everything, you attack, you kill it yourself, that way it gets destroyed, and then you use this effect on the grave, bring back one of your dark monsters that you really need, that searches or does whatever, add to your hand like Apprentice, and then use it on your dark monster for next turn. So, really good card. Alright, and that is it for the Dark Magician deck, guys. That's how I'm going to be playing it for quite some time. And I forgot to mention about my brand new mat that I got, because I really do like this mat. It is really great. I really like it. I like playing on this mat more than I like the other mat, because it has obviously Dark Magician, Red Eyes, Black Dragon, and Blue Eyes, so it's really great. I like it. But that is enough talking for this video, and I'm going to wish you guys good luck and have a great night.